All right, everybody, Francisco, Elizabeth, and Andy are asking about pop-up bike lanes and tactical urbanism. And maybe you've seen on the news that many cities around the world are implementing pop-up bike lanes. People aren't driving, they don't have anywhere to go at the moment, but they want to go for a walk or for a bike ride or from an A to B as well on their bikes. So wider sidewalks for social distancing is happening in many cities, and then pop-up bike lanes as well to give people more space to ride bikes, social distancing, but also the streets in many cities are incredibly empty. Just as I say that, there's like this noisy engine outside because here in Copenhagen, the cars are coming back now that we're easing up our lockdown restrictions. But pop-up bike lanes, man, who can't like that? Isn't that awesome? It's not a new thing. Many people have done it before. There's an NGO in the States called Team Better Block, and this is part of what they do. They take an entire city block and they completely renew it temporarily, putting in planters and public space and playgrounds for kids and activating the shops and putting in some bicycle infrastructure to show people what it could be like if it was there. Because man, we're never going to get anywhere with conversation. I don't want bike lanes. I want bike lanes. I don't want bike lanes. That's just never going to end, right? If you put it in tactical urbanism wise, boom, people, oh, that's what you mean. Oh, right. But there's still car parking. Oh, okay, cool, I get it. Or you took away the car parking and it's, oh, but you actually show people instead of just telling them. So pop-up bike lanes during this crisis, man, it is a fantastic opportunity to show how they work. Finally get them onto the ground. And I think it's just amazing. Yeah, we're all thinking the same thing. Are they going to stay? Ooh, no idea. Of course they should. They should be made permanent once you finally got over that hurdle and have the opportunity to put them in without having any long discussions at city council with all the haters and the skeptics and the NIMBYs. And man, now they're there. Yes, of course they should be made permanent. It's going to be different from city to city. Some cities are going to take them out right away as soon as the cars come back and the lockdown's lifted. Others, I think, are going to have an opportunity and a desire to make them stay. Just in the last 10 days or so, I've been reading about how New Zealand is the first country in the world to officially implement pop-up bike lanes. And I was reading today that the city of Milan is going to take away street space from cars on 35 kilometers of its roads and make them into bike lanes. Now, the political climate in Milan, I know, if you've seen the Milan episode, the mayor and the vice mayor, man, they got it going on. They know where they're going with this urbanism thing and making a more life-size city and doing finally all the right things that they need to do. So I think there's a good chance that Milan is going to put them in and keep them and make them permanent afterwards. Other cities, they'll probably disappear in no time. I know that Toronto, I was also reading today, all these cities are doing it in North America, and Toronto's like, oh, I don't know if we should do that. I don't know if that's a good idea. Let's make one-way pedestrian sidewalks, right? Okay, we have that in Copenhagen. Around our lakes, where everybody goes for runs and walks, there's actually a one-way system for pedestrians during the corona crisis. But Toronto is kind of like, oh, I don't know if we should do this, even though all these other cities are doing it. And that really is Toronto in a nutshell politically. But yeah, great opportunity, man. And people should insist that they stay as well. The citizens should say, we want that. The key to these pop-up bike lanes is that people got to get out and use them. Right? We have to show that they're effective and that they work and they're used and that people want them. And that's going to really be the game changer if the discussion comes later about whether or not to keep them or remove them. You can say, look how many people are using them, right? This is where activists should do what I often say around the world to activists is this is where they should start gathering data, right? This is where somebody should be out there standing there and counting how many people are using it. Are they, men, women, families, children? Are they, spandexy dudes, or is it just a family on upright bikes? Somebody should be out there documenting all of this, because when the discussion comes later, if it does, somebody can just say, look at all this. This is how many people on these 5 days, look how many people used it. Because that's really what I hear all over the world is, somebody finally put in a bike lane in a city and all the skeptics are going, nobody uses it. I drive past twice a day and I saw 5 bikes. But that's the beauty of bicycle infrastructure, that it is so efficient at moving people through a city down streets. It rarely looks absolutely congested, except in Copenhagen and Amsterdam and cities like that, right? That's actually an interesting thing about the corona crisis here. These pop-up bike lanes are appearing, which is, I'm all for it. It's amazing. Here we have such wide infrastructure that it has created social distancing on its own. People are still riding bikes all over the place, but now there's a lot more space on the otherwise congested cycle tracks, especially in rush hour in the morning and the afternoon. So here we have the opposite problem, but get out and document how they're being used. All over the world, activists should always be counting and getting more data. Whoever has the most data in a city is winning, right? If it's the activists, the regular citizens who have the most data, they're going to win, and the politicians are not going to like that at all. If it's the politicians who have that data, generally it works out well for everyone. Okay, and actually here, I just remember there's an amazing app called Counterpoint. It's available on Android and iPhone, free to use, all open source, and you can just download it and sit there and watch how many people are going past and gather the data about all the different users of the space. There's 4 different types you can use, and you upload it to the back end, and you can download it as well later, but you can also compare it with other cities, and you can go back and do the same spot again, whatever. Download the app, get counting. Whoever has the most data is going to win, and the city will be better off because of it. I think it was Andy who was asking about like general tactical urbanism, you know, all the little interventions we can do in our neighborhoods, you know, now that we're, you know, maybe working from home or not working at all during the crisis. But yeah, man, that's a really interesting point. And I haven't seen a lot of buzz on my radar about that, people closing off entire streets. If anybody has any links to cool stuff, please add it in the comments here. I'd like to read about it. But yeah, this is the time. I mean, here in Denmark, maybe like in other countries, I don't know, but like hardware stores and gardening stores are doing an amazing business during the lockdown here. People, guilty as well. I've fixed up so many things in this apartment that I just haven't had any time for or desire to. And in my back courtyard, man, people are building and hammering and sanding and, you know, screwing and unscrewing and whatnot. So this is the time that we're, you know, fidgety with our hands and want to get stuff done. So yeah, why not tactical urbanism? Like I said, if you have any articles that you can link to down below from anywhere in the world, any language will do, let me know, because I want to see if this is a thing. So thanks for that question, Andy and Elizabeth and Francisco as well.